Welcome to the Milky Way of stories, where the darkness reveals its secrets. Every day, we bring you chilling true horror stories shared by real people. Turn off the lights, settle in, and prepare to be haunted by the unknown. Remember, these stories aren't just tales, they could be happening to you, right now. If you have a story to share, email us at usman.afzal.5811@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated with the latest spine-tingling tales. Today, I am going to share 3 stories with you. How are you? I hope you are well. You must post my story on your channel. I watch your stories daily. My name is Saima, and I am a bioprofessional. I am a doctor and live in Karachi. First, let me tell you a little background about this incident. When my father was posted in Karachi Township, which is near a steel mill, our family shifted there. There were 2 sisters in my family, and there were Mom and Dad. Dad often had to go out of the city for government work, and he often did not come for days at a time. My mother, being a single woman, was very alert and also very brave, so she stayed calm. She also kept a gun so that she could protect herself and us in any bad situation. 2 guards were outside the main gate on the lawn of our house. During that time, the construction work of the washroom was going on, and my mother was in the house. I didn't like AC, so my mother often used to sleep with us in the courtyard of the house. There was a grill in some part of the lawn in the courtyard of the house, due to which the entire portion was covered, and at the same time, we could also see the lawn. My mom was sleeping and suddenly she woke up after having a bad dream. The dream was something like this. Mom saw that a man had come to the lawn of the house, and there was a big peepal tree in the middle of our lawn. Then, Mom saw a man in a white dress come and look at Mom and start pouring water from a jug on that tree. While leaving, he tells Mom in a loud voice not to commit impurity here. Saying this, the person goes away. When he disappears into the wall, Mom immediately wakes up after seeing this dream. My mom wondered whether it was a dream or reality. She looks towards the lawn and sees that in reality, the same person was standing there, watering the tree. As if he looked at her, then she asked who was there, but the person did not say anything, and after giving a sign of refusal with his finger, he disappeared somewhere in the wall. She got worried. To know whether it was a dream or reality, she went to the tree. She called out who was there, but there was no one. However, when she touched the soil of the tree, it was filled with water as if someone had just watered it. My mom called again to ask who was there. When no answer was received, she called out again. She also fired 2 or 3 shots, due to which the neighboring guards got up and started asking about her well-being. Everyone searched, but there was no one there. She realized that he was not a human being. The next day, she explained to us not to use the washroom there while playing on the lawn, nor create any mess, leave the swing in our room before evening. The next day, when we went to the lawn to swing, it was my younger sister's turn, and some children from the locality also used to come to play. The swing was such that 2 to 3 children could swing on it at a time. The swing was tied to a branch of a tree. My turn was about to come, and I needed to go to the washroom. I had to go to the washroom at home, which was very high up in my room. I didn't want my sister to take the swing instead of me, so I thought I should go to the construction washroom. How would my mother know? This was my biggest mistake. I immediately went to the washroom and then started swinging. The swing became so fast that I started crying. It was swinging so fast that it felt like I was being thrown into the sky. After that, I started screaming, and so did the other children. The swing was not stopping in any way. The children ran away, and my younger sister ran to our mother. It was summer, and my mother used to rest during the day. After a while, the branch of the tree broke and fell with me, and I became unconscious due to fear. Sometime later, my mother came and saw that I was unconscious. She picked me up and took me to the room and called the doctor. When I regained consciousness, my mother saw that there was a claw mark on my face as if I had been slapped. And yes, when I was swinging, I felt that someone had whispered in my ear, "Now you see." When I came to my senses, I also had a very high fever. My mom called our priest and asked him what was the matter. The priest looked at me and told my mom that I had been the victim of some curse. After reading the water, he gave it to my mother to make me drink and forbade me from going to that place. The night was very heavy on me. I would wake up in my sleep and start crying. The scar on my face had become very deep. My mom was very upset because my dad was not home at that time. That very night, I had a strange dream that I remember to this day, which makes my soul tremble. That dream haunted me. I kept seeing it for a year. At that time, I was 11 years old. That dream was visible to me only on Tuesdays. The dream was like this: it was the lawn of our house and the tree. I was standing there with the trunk of that tree as if someone had tied me, but obviously, there was no rope. I saw that 3 people were coming into my dream. Their height was so tall as if they were touching the sky, and their faces were very big in a square shape. They were wearing clothes and anklets were tied on their legs. There were 1 woman and 2 men. All 3 of them were circling me. The people were turning towards my face one by one. They would look at me, smile creepily, and walk for a long time. Then after some time, the woman would come near me, extend her hand, and ask me to come with her. Her hands and nails were so long that I was afraid to go near her. She extended her finger towards me. Her finger was so big that she caught hold of my hand with her index finger. She was pulling me towards her, saying, "Now you will stay with us." I was crying and screaming, calling out to my mother, but no sound was coming out. Then that woman was dragging me. During that time, I smelled something so dirty and rotten, like meat and blood. I was barefoot, so I felt the ground was wet and sticky. When the moonlight fell on the ground, I looked down, and my soul trembled. I saw that it was not mud, it was blood, smelly and sticky. I can't explain it in words. In the dream, she kept dragging me for so long that I became exhausted. This dream is very long. During this, a small canal appeared, which people crossed with 1 step. The woman and I waited for it. She pointed, and it became so dark that as the clouds moved away and the moonlight fell on the ground again, I saw deep water. But it was not water, the canal was full of blood. Seeing that, I started trembling. That woman laughed after seeing me and grabbed my hand, pulling it with a jerk. Their journey started again. After a long journey, a triangular room appeared, which had neither any door nor any window. One of the men would push the wall, and a door would appear there. He would not go inside himself but would hold me and push me inside, saying that I would stay there for the rest of my life. He would close the wall, and that room was also covered with the mud of blood. There was a hole in the room through which moonlight was coming in, and I could only see blood in that room. Suddenly, my eyes opened crying, and I was sweating so much. In the beginning, I used to tell my dreams to my mother. My mom kept getting me treated on her own, but my condition kept worsening. These things did not leave me. After that, many things happened. Even after marriage, I was harassed a lot. When I told Dad, he did not believe in these things. That creature did not tolerate anyone with me. During this time, many incidents happened. If I tell you all, this video will be very long. I could never understand what those people wanted, and to this day, they have not left me. In a way, I had become addicted to these things. These things completely ruined my life, and that is what is happening to me till now. I will share it with you again. If you like my story, please share it on your channel. Thank you. Let's move towards another story. My name is Iman, and I want to share one of my horror incidents with you. There are a lot of horror scenes in my family. Incidents have happened, so I told you that Zainab, my cousin who told me about your channel, used to listen to your story. Then, paranormal activities started happening in her house, and even now, a lot is happening with her. Okay, let me tell you about the house in which she lives. It was built in 2001, but on the ground floor, the owner of that house lives alone, while his family lives abroad. She said that this house is very old, and they have kept a camel's leg in it, on top of the cabinet. They have been living there for 2 to 3 years, and nothing happened to them until she started listening to your story. One day, her younger sister, Humana, and her elder sister, Amna, were in the house while everyone else had gone out. Suddenly, the light went off, and Amna went to the front room for some work when it was dark. She got scared and ran out, telling Amna. She said there was nothing and that she was just scared of the dark. Well, Amna told their mother about it when she came back. She said that she was offering namaz and saw a pen lying on the table suddenly start moving around. As soon as she looked towards it after finishing namaz, it stopped, and she felt that someone had gone out of the room. She asked who was there, but no answer came. That same night, Zainab was lying on the bed with her mother, and the door of the room was closed, making it very dark. Zainab started feeling sleepy, so she got up from the bed and went down to sleep on the mattress. When she lay down, she felt someone sitting near her feet. Feeling very sleepy, she kicked her leg, thinking it was her brother, but he did not move away. She got suspicious, looked carefully in the dark, and suddenly screamed and started crying. Her mother asked what happened, and she told her that she had seen the shadow of a very scary child. Her mother hugged her and made her sleep with her, assuring her that it was just an illusion. Zainab was very fond of listening to stories. The real situation in that house started when she began listening to horror stories. Further, I will tell you in Zainab's words, children started listening to the stories too, and we started feeling sleepy. We closed the story and went to sleep. At midnight, Humana woke me up. I saw that Humana was sitting, very scared, and I asked her what happened. She told me to run, so I also understood and ran to my dad and mom's room. Amna was already crying there. When we asked, we found out that Amna had not slept yet. She heard the sound of something falling. When she looked, there was nothing. She ran away in fear and told everything to Dad. When Baba went there, he saw a glass Ludo in her room lying there as it was, but its glass was shattered as if someone had broken it with a hammer. Amna said that when she saw it, the Ludo was absolutely fine. She has 5 siblings, 1 brother, and 4 sisters. Zainab was about 15 to 18 years old, and her elder sister was about 17 to 18 years old. One day, they came to our house, and when they went back, Zainab saw someone standing on her terrace. She told her uncle, her dad, who went upstairs and checked the whole house but found no one there. Then, they started hearing the sound of someone walking on the ground, as if someone was running away. They got very scared. That very night, when all the children went to their rooms and slept, a very scary incident happened with Amna. I will tell you in Amna's words, I was sleeping at night when I felt that someone was on me. When I opened my eyes, what can I tell you, he was so scared that he was sitting on me. I wonder where I got so much courage to run away screaming, go to my father, and start crying. Mom asked what I saw, but I did not remember his appearance. I just remembered that he was very scary. Zainab had papers to write, so she used to study late into the night. One day, she was studying when she heard the sound of someone walking. She ignored it, but again, she got a strong feeling that someone was standing behind her. She ran into the room and tried to sleep by turning on the light. One day, Zainab's neighbor came to her house and started talking to her. They said that when no one was living in this house, a lot of noise used to come from it. When they were sleeping on the terrace, they saw a woman in white clothes walking around. When asked if they felt anything, my mom said no, we do not feel anything, but it is true that when these creatures are mentioned, they come very close. One day, Zainab's family had to go out of the city, so Zainab and Huzaifa stayed with us. When I came home, my brother Ahmed Huzaifa and Zainab's brother went to Huzaifa's house. As I mentioned earlier, an uncle lives below, who is the owner of that house. They rang the bell, but no one opened it. When they started coming back, the sensor light turned on, and they thought their uncle was coming. When they peeped inside, they saw someone standing. It got quite late, and no one came, so both of them started coming back. My brother jokingly said that he thinks there is a spirit inside his uncle's house. Suddenly, they saw their uncle standing with them. Both of them came back and told all of us, and Huzaifa said he could not understand who the person he saw was. This happened 2 to 3 days ago. I will tell it in my own words. After breakfast, Dad and I went to offer namaz. When we came back from the mosque, Baba sat outside and started reading the Quran. I was feeling very sleepy, so I went to sleep. Then, I heard Dad's voice calling me. When I went, Dad asked if I was hearing any sound from the kitchen. I said no, Dad, there is no sound. Dad said to go and check, as it seemed like someone was working in the kitchen. I went to check, but there was no one there. I came into the room and lay down. After some time, Dad called me again and said to sit near him and listen carefully. I sat for a long time, and Dad asked if I could hear the sound. I said no, Dad, I am not hearing any sound. He was very scared by this, but nothing has happened since then. I am blessed to listen to your stories fondly. This was the story of my cousin's house. Feel free to share it on your channel. Thank you. Let's move towards another story. I want to share my small story with you. My name is Fahad, and I belong to a village in India. I was living in a nearby city for higher education. Let me give you some idea of that place. There was a main road and a wide lane, and inside that lane, I lived in a building. It was a third-floor building. There were 5 different rooms on the floor, one of them was mine, and the landlord and some students lived on the rest of the floors. The story starts like this: it was the time of Diwali, and I was the only Muslim there. Everyone else was Hindu. The students had gone to their respective homes to celebrate the festival, and the landlord also had a house in the village, so they had gone to the village as well. Thus, I was alone in the entire house. Before leaving, the landlord told me that I had to switch off the upstairs light at night. Before sleeping, I remembered this and went to the terrace. There was a cold wind blowing, and the weather was quite nice, so I started spending some time on the terrace. It was about midnight. Then, a very cold wind touched me, and after that, I started feeling very negative. My anxiety level increased, and I felt that I was of no use. I started thinking of suicide. I noticed what I was thinking and felt that I should go downstairs. I went down to my room, closed the door, went to bed, put a movie on my mobile, and started watching it. My mobile was on a table near the bed. At around 2:30 in the night, I saw a light pass from outside my door. I could see the light from the bottom of the door, but I ignored it. Then, the light started moving back and forth repeatedly. I got a little scared and thought of checking, but I couldn't move.